Alright, hello YouTube. We're here for the Week 2 Fantasy Football Positional Rankings. In this video, I'm going to break down, some different people at different positions, a few quarterbacks I like, a few running backs, a few wide receivers, and so on. If you want to look at my full rankings, they'll be on my blog, jrverducci.sportsblog.com. Also look for me at Twitter, at jrverducci, and if you have any questions, comments, please put it here at the bottom of the video, and also please subscribe. So let's get to it. Quarterbacks. Number one quarterback this week, easy, Cam Newton at home against the Niners. Though the Niners look good against the Rams, I don't expect a great performance out of that defense. I look for Cam Newton to be able to run and throw at will against this Niners defense. A matchup I like for quarterbacks, the Saints-Giants game. The Saints opening game was great for quarterbacks as it was a huge, passing day for both quarterbacks. I look for Breeze and Eli Manning to both have good days. Another quarterback I like this week, looking back at Oakland, Derek Carr at home against Atlanta. Atlanta gave up 4 touchdowns last week to Jameis Winston. Derek Carr and that offense prove that they can score if they need to. A little risky, but Russell Wilson hasn't played great against the Rams, has an ankle injury. I have him ranked this week at number 9. If you got him, you probably got to start him. It is what it is, but again, keep tabs on that, see if he's going to play through the injury, see how it works out during the week. But he should be good to go against the Rams D. Running backs, my top one is David Johnson, Cardinals against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Although they didn't win the game, he looked good, catching the ball and running the ball and got himself a touchdown. Other running backs I like this week, C.J. Anderson. The Indianapolis defense is horrible, and that Broncos offense needs to rally around C.J. Anderson to make the job for Trevor Siemian to be easier. So look at him to get 20 plus touches. Again, I like D'Angelo Williams. Had a great game Monday night filling in for Le'Veon Bell. They'll continue to use him as if he was Le'Veon Bell against that Cincinnati D. Todd Gurley is one to watch out for this week. I have him ranked at 13 against that Seattle D. Without a passing game, teams are going to stack the box. It's going to be tough for him, and that offensive line hasn't blocked well at all. I know Todd Gurley can make explosive plays, and I know he was probably a first-round pick for you, but hopefully you have another option there that you can use as RB1 and use Gurley as an RB2. If not, roll with your studs and hope it works out. At 20 on my rankings, I have Arian Foster. Had over 100 combined yards in the passing game and rushing game, so they're starting to use him well. They know that he can catch the balls out of the backfield. He's a great back even at his age. Let's see how he does up against the Patriots. Kind of a lesser David Johnson from last week. Wide receivers, the big guns are at the top again. Antonio Brown proved why he's the number 1 overall pick and the number 1 receiver. He did Antonio Brown things. Look for that again against the team that ended his season last year with a hard helmet-to-helmet hit in the playoffs. Again, looking back at that New Orleans Giants game, I like Odell Beckham Jr. again. He'll get his chances. Amari Cooper wasn't stopped against the for the Raiders against the Saints last week. Why are they going to stop Odell Beckham? Also, I like Brandon Cooks in that game. He's become a target of Breeze. He had the huge 98-yard touchdown in Week 1. A couple touchdowns. Look for him to work against that Giants D. Also looking further down the list, I like Kelvin Benjamin. He's my 11th ranked receiver. I wanted to see how he did last year coming back from the ACL and last week coming back from the ACL injury. Didn't know if he was going to be on a snap count. Didn't know if he was going to be 100%, but obviously him and Cam found that groove early, and it was the first touchdown of the season was Kelvin Benjamin. So I look at him at 11 against that San Francisco defense. 12, Demaryius Thomas going against Indy. Indy couldn't stop the Lions from passing, so Demaryius Thomas should be able to feast. And further down the list, I got surprise Julian Edelman at 16. Great in PPR formats. Obviously, Garoppolo trusts him. He was looking for him early and often. He'll be there to move the sticks, and let's see if he can get in the end zone this week. For tight ends, number 1's Rob Gronkowski if he plays. He was back at practice today, but still didn't look 100% with that hamstring issue. I know a lot of people spent, which personally I think it's a little bit of a waste with a tight end with some injury history, but a lot of you spent a first or second round pick on Gronkowski. You want him to get back on the field. His production will be there, especially when Tom Brady comes back. If he's playing this week, of course you start him. He's always a threat to get a touchdown every week. If he's not, look elsewhere. Number 2, Jordan Reed. Did a little bit of a disappointment on Monday night, but the entire Redskins were a disappointment against the Steelers. So we'll see if he gets back on track against Dallas. Number 7, I like Gary Barnidge. Now that RG3 is out and Josh McCown's quarterback, they're going to be dropping back more conventional passing game, and I think Barnidge will get some results there at the tight end position. At number 11, I have Dwayne Allen. You know, Andrew Luck like using his tight end this week against Detroit. He's got to keep that up against the secondary of the Broncos. They have the shutdown corners Talib and Harris on the outside, getting Moncrief and T.Y. Hilton. So look for Dwayne Allen over the middle. For defenses, number 1 defense, Carolina Panthers. They looked good. They had a couple turnovers against the Broncos. Now they're getting a weaker Niners team at home. Look for them to feast. Number 2, Seahawks defense. The Niners shut out the Rams. What are the Seahawks going to do? They have a great defense always, and they'll be able to, load the box, stop Todd Gurley, and force Case Keenum to try to beat him. Further down the list, at 5, I like the Patriots defense against Miami. Miami's offense didn't look too great up in Seattle. Looked kind of sluggish. The Patriots defense, they didn't get a turnover, which is a little surprising, but they looked good against the Cardinals, shutting them down, forcing a lot of punts. I look for a few turnovers here at home. At number 11, I like the Eagles on Monday night. The Eagles' defense and special teams always there for a few turnovers. You got Sproles there returning punts. I think they can make some magic happen against Chicago. For my full rankings, you can go and look at my sports blog again, jrverducci.sportsblog.com. And again, questions, comments, concerns, anything, make comments on here, find me on Twitter, and I'll be able to try to help you as much as I can. And good luck in week 2 of your fantasy football.